Rabbi Zakatinsky said that, how do you know you guys really learning, like for real? That's not just for like gaiva or kavod. Is he becoming a better husband, a better father? Like, is it changing you? Like, he was an amazing dad, an amazing like husband. I saw my parents fight once when I was a little kid. My dad was telling my mom, like, you work hard during the week, like sleep in. And my mom was like, I could go to shul or whatever. I don't remember exactly. She was a tzaddik.
She is a tzaddik. We all know that.
Right, but so like I was like a little kid and like I never saw my parents like raise their voice to each other. So in my head, I'm like, they're getting divorced. Like, I ran upstairs, like got a book. I was like just like hiding in my room, like trying to like ignore it. Should we sing like the intro theme song?
Well, we don't have an intro theme song yet.
Welcome to the Yossi Hecht Show. Something like, I don't know.
Baruch, welcome. So one thing I like about this Grateful Warriors podcast is that we don't have to get these people who have runs organizations or who have a million people on their Twitter account. That's when I asked you to come on. You're like, what are we talking about? My beard? By the way, I haven't seen it. Pretty
my
hot.
beard is amazing. My beard is stunning. Let's be honest.
It happens to be pretty hot.
Yeah, that's rocking.
Yeah, it's rocking. So,
people think I'm Chabad all the time. And then also like I walk around with a Tanya sometimes, so that like throws them off. I always feel bad for like the Lubavitch dudes who can't grow the beard. You ever thought about that? Like they have this like some straggled. It's just like it's so sad. It's like you can borrow some of mine. I don't need it.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's like almost like Velcro,
Yeah. Right.
Everybody's got challenges.
Right.
Happens to be some are more pronounced, some are less pronounced. Your dad passed away shortly after my mother, so I remember even for myself, like now Baruch Hashem, I'm a little more at a point of acceptance and just keep on rolling with the punches. But at that point, it's a little more intriguing. And for you, is just the attitude of positivity and whatever Hashem does is best. That personally was very nice. God, takes what he takes, and my dad's in a better place.
So my dad, Lower East Side guy, the most normal guy, the most normal.
I remember I used to listen to the Met game with him.
Yeah, like Met fan. Like if you would think like an American balebos just on the outside, right? Yeah, it was funny. He had a good sense of humor. He was like a tall guy, good-looking guy, according to my mom. But he's just like, he's a great guy. Tons of friends. Just he could have been just like, I guess, one of the chevra. That was like all he focused on, just like work and that type of stuff. But we always like to joke that it was Rabbi Brown and my mom that sort of tag teamed him and just like made him just like
massive Talmid Chacham,
what he eventually became. But obviously, he put in a lot of work on it by himself. And like the biggest chizuk you could get from my dad is he was such a normal guy, but he worked on himself. Every year it took a little bit more. I remember,
he did the deer shoot.
Deer shoot. So he started off, he did Rabbi Brown. This is actually something he said in one of his speeches. He was also a tremendous speaker. Like he was a real amazing person. Rabbi Brown, he said like, you think the big moments in your life, it's not like a Hollywood movie, right? That there's a soundtrack and then like the crescendo hits and then like, oh, something amazing happens. Like him was Rabbi Brown was supposed to like walking out of shul one day and tell my dad like, I think you should give the daf in the summer. It will be good for you. And that was like such a game changer in his life because he was always able to learn well, but now he had to he had to give it over, and Rabbi Brown's daf is like no joke. Like everyone there could give the daf. You have to like really like.
Rabbi Brown, I'm sat through some of them. It's like literally he's like quoting every Rishon and Achron whole shots.
Rabbi Brown is the hidden secret for Rockaway. It's shocking. No one else knows about it. You go to like anywhere else like Rabbi Brown. No, he's the gadol in America.
Yeah,
he's literally a walking Sefer Torah. It's fascinating. Like I have a great story with him. So we were in first year base mitzvah. Me and Chaim Sif, your cousin, we were learning second Seder. We're sitting right here. Rabbi Brown was probably sitting where the couch is, like literally 5 feet away. And the 12th graders, as a prank, they lit off like a firework. Huge explosion. It would sound like a gunshot. So literally the entire base everyone looks up. So my view, I look up and I see like Rabbi Brown in the corner of my eye. He does not even look up from his Gemara. Yeah, you ask him.
I'm not shocked.
Ask him. The only way to get him to look up from his Gemara, you have to get your shadow over the line that he's on. Then he'll look up like, oh, someone's blocking my view. He's whatever, next level. So he asked my dad to give the daf, and my dad started for the summer. He started preparing the daf when the Red Brown goes upstate. So my dad was giving the daf for the guys, and he had to actually work on preparing the daf. And then also, this is something Rabbi Brown said. It's just that he wasn't the same person every year at the Levaya, right? He said, first we lost the crown jewel of our community, which Like, not to brag, he totally
Right.
was.
Yeah, definitely.
I could brag a little bit. So he started right to the daf by Rabbi Brown, and then it was the deer shoe test. When deer shoes started coming out, they give a vachina on every 30 blot, and I think you have to get like over an 80 or something. I'm not exactly sure to get paid. And my dad, I don't think he ever got less than a 97 or a 98. You know, he was a real brain, and he also really, really learned well. And he took all the money he got and gave it to
your uncle, right?
Yeah, he was also a holy man.
Right.
He gave it every year. Not every year, every test he gave it to him. But that way he became a real shasiyat. Just like he knew, like there was for his 60th birthday party, we all got together by Pacey in Haberstraw, and some guy, he sees like a clean-shaven doctor, like he came up to him. And he says, you know, it says somewhere that like once you hit 60, it's a big milestone. There's no more curries. My dad like gave him a little wink. He's like, yeah, it's a toso son. He like went to the exact area, like where it is. The guy's like blown away.
But besides that, he was obviously he's an eye doctor, but he didn't start till the practice till like 12 o'clock every day.
So right? So once his practice got big enough, and this was when he was 40, turned 40 years old, and he told my mom, like, I got to get ready for the bechina upstairs. So he would wake up, go do the daf, come back, and then like have breakfast with my mom. Then he'd go to Shifa Rockaway till like 12 o'clock. And then he would come work 12 to 6. And then he would go either learn the rest of the day, like learn some deer shoe and stuff. And it was like a very like slow progression. Like it used to be like at the end of the day, it'd like be the Mets game. And then that became less and less. But like at the end, originally when he got sick, right, we didn't even think it was COVID. It was just, my mom thought he was just learning too much. Because for him also, like, COVID obviously was a horrible thing, but it was the best thing. Like, no one was coming in. There was no patient, so he could just like learn all day. So he was just like, he was learning para and shuvas samsov. And just like, he was everything. And like, he started, the Reitzer program. Yeah. So like we did brachas, and then he's asking me about the test. Like, I didn't really take them. I went through brachas, but then like, so Shabbos started. He's like, Baruch, how the tests? I'm like, they're pretty good. Like, so he took the first Shabbos one also. He started to write the Shabbos with the daf and the deer shoe, and then he took the first test. He was like, "It's a great test. You should take them." Like, but he kept adding and adding and adding, and there was no ego. There was no with all that like godless. It was so unassuming. It was just such a normal, amazing guy.
What's the message you try to impart like to other people that when people ask you about this stuff? Who's such a special person?
It's a couple of things. So. First, obviously, right, it's straight out halacha, right? Everything that everything Kadosh Baruch Hu does, it's for the best. Story of Rabbi Kiva, it's quoting. Like, even if it's something we don't see, like it's a puzzle piece that it doesn't make sense, right? He was planning on doing more stuff with this. Right. He was planning on taking the deer shoe test on Shas, just like do the entire thing. He would have done it. And obviously, like, we just miss him just because he was an amazing father. Not just like, this is something Rabbi Zakatinsky said, that like, how do you know these guys really learning, like, for real? That's not just for like gaiva or kavod. Is he becoming a better husband, a better father? Like, is it changing you? Like, he was an amazing dad, an amazing like husband. I saw my parents fight once when I was a little kid. It was my dad was telling my mom, like, you work hard during the week, like sleep in, and my mom was like, I could go to shul or whatever. I don't remember exactly. She was a tzaddik.
We all know that.
Right, but so like I was like a little kid, and like I never saw my parents like raise their voice to each other. So in my head, I'm like, they're getting divorced. Like, I ran upstairs, like got a book. I was like just like hiding in my room, like trying to like ignore it. He was such a presence. Just the chagim, like he always came alive during like Sukkot time. He loved his sukkah. He would always be in the sukkah just learning. And at the same time also, like, here's a great story with him. Like, he was such a normal guy. Like, my sister was sitting down in the living room with some friends, and our sukkah's on the back porch. And to get to it, you have to go through like the den area where my sister and our friends were sitting. And if you're a father and you have a daughter, you have to just embarrass her. That's probably like, that's in a rule book somewhere. So my dad was going outside to sleep. So he took his blanket, and he like wrapped it around like a superhero, and he's like, sukkah man, and he just like ran right through them. My sister's like, Dad, oh my God. That's like, but he was just such like a real person. Like Pesach time also, like, especially as the grandkids started getting older, he got so into it. He would like dress up as Paro and like sneak in and come into the front door like, I'm Paro's great-great-grandson. And like it just, all of it. He was such a real person. Rosh Hashanah is also not the same. Like, because not only could he learn, he could give it over very, very well.
Right.
Very, very well. People had always said like he should give the daf first, And then Rabbi Brown should come and just like blow everyone away.
Right, exactly.
Because he'll be like, here, guys, here's the basics. And then Rabbi Brown's going to be like, and also there's a ritva in like Pesachim that has nothing to do with here, but let's tie it in. So it's like Rosh Hashanah, always, there's 4 Sudas, and you learn a Parak Suda, there's 4 Parak on Rosh Hashanah. Like my entire family could tell you like the mountains that they lit the fires on to say when Rosh Hashanah is, like Graffinia, just because, so like we all miss him just from all that stuff.
But even so, it's called
that is for sure. And that's like, it's okay also to be sad sometimes. It's okay sometimes that it hits you just like, he's not here right now and I want to talk to him or I miss him. And that's a very normal human experience. We're human beings. That's how Kadosh Baruch Hu made us. But I guess I come to it from another perspective that growing up, I had an amazing childhood, amazing childhood. Especially like as you get older, you don't realize like other people didn't have such a great childhood. Right? They're bad, bad marriages, parents, whatever the case is. So like you start from a gratitude perspective. Like I had 31 years with an amazing father. Like in my head, every family was, parents love each other, the siblings all get along, the father happens to be a Talmid Chacham, and just like that was normal. And it's amazing. It's so much more to be grateful for that. Like, okay, so Hashem took him, but I wanted him to be here. Okay, but like he gave me so much. I didn't deserve any of that. That's just 31 years. That.
So if you come from it from a perspective of I don't deserve anything, then look how much I got.
You have to be grateful for Hashem that I'm just personally grateful that I had a father like that.
Right.
It's a role model. It's an inspiration, but it was a very warm, besides all the Torah and all the things, which is amazing. This is an amazing, warm, like family to grow up in. Like all our siblings get along. We all joke around with each other. Right. There's like we were at I was with my wife somewhere with a bunch of people, and they were discussing like everyone there like came from a troubled home, like a lot of people, and they're like, I don't think anyone has like a good childhood, and I'm like, I had a perfect childhood, and she was like annoyed. She's like, oh, you're one of those families like everyone gets along, and I'm like, yeah.
That's the definition of a grateful warrior. You know what I'm saying? Like it's these small little things that you could think that, oh, I'm not inspiration, I'm just a regular guy. And meanwhile, if let's say you say, I'm not going to be grateful and I'll be bitter that my parent died or something.
Right.
What gain do you get? Do you see any gain in that?
Well, obviously, that's Sahara's game. That's what
right.
Something like there's a piece of Ron Nachman I saw. I don't remember exactly which one. That like the Sahara doesn't care so much about the Avera. It's the sadness that comes with it afterwards.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, the sadness is what gets, because once you're sad, then you're just going to do another Avera and you don't really care, and it's just like it's going to build.
Fall into a rut.
Yeah, you're going to fall into a rut, but at the same time, listen, there's a Gemara that if not for Kadosh Baruch Hu coming to help you, the Sahara is going to win you every time. You're stronger than us, and it's very. Again, also people have different, some people are more emotional, some people are less. My dad used to make a joke. He's like, we're shores, we don't show emotions. So the mayor's side, let them cry. We just he was a very sweet man and he really cared about everyone. But what
do you say Rav Nachman is the driving force of this attitude that you have? Or
I guess a little background. It's definitely a huge part of it. Because for me, I had definitely periods of my life, even you could grow up in the best situation, but you could get, turned off or just not into it. It's America. At the end of the day, an American in Tush and Paydays, the kids nowadays, I have no idea, because at least I grew up before the internet. The kids now, I have no idea how they even sit in class. But I guess just me personally, I had a real area in my life where I didn't learn, I didn't daven, I didn't I didn't do anything. I was just wasting my time. And slowly, Hashem, He's always willing to guide you back, and I'll send you the little things you need to do. So for me, I was years and years and years just in a complete rut. I remember I just offered a job to go work in cash advance somewhere in the city, and I was not interested in doing it. But I was whatever, I'll go. I knew the guy who was offering it, so I decided I'll go out, try it out for a couple of days, and for some reason in my head I was go pick up a Mesilas Yesharim. And mind you, I probably haven't opened a sefer in years at that time.
Right.
Years. I haven't learned a word. On the train, I started reading it. It was the English version, just going through it. Right. And that started helping. But it didn't make it whole. It was okay, I know I have to get better and precious and work on myself in the different levels. And it's an amazing sefer, but it still didn't take the real hold. But what really, really, I guess for me, helped make a relationship with Hashem more real, Yiddishkeit more real, all of it real. YouTube and Rav Eliezer Brody. So he's Rav Shalom Arush's like Talmud, who he writes all the English for him, and he's a huge smile on his face. This guy on YouTube, like I'm watching random YouTube videos, and this guy is just like, Hashem loves you. He's like, Chazal would not be able to institute a bracha, unless it was 100% true. You can't use Hashem's name otherwise.
Right.
It's like things like that, and then he starts through that. They're pushing like, make the relationship real. Do his sport, do his sport. It's such a big avodah nowadays, especially. And just like it doesn't even have to be like in the beginning, like a deep conversation. It's just like, especially if you haven't like learned or done anything in years, it'd be like awkward. But his sport it's a game changer. Really? I tell everyone it's such
do you just go in the middle of the forest, or you can
go in your room, go in your bedroom, go lie down in your bed. Just close the door, put the phone away. Just
phone's a massive distraction.
Phone is the massive, but you put the phone away. Put the phone away, close your eyes, and then just have a conversation. And literally wherever your mind takes you. He has a lot of svarim also about like what you should try to speak about. He always goes like 20 minutes first start. He says an hour a day. I don't do an hour a day. I really should do an hour a day. This is what Rav Nachman recommends, but Rav Arush breaks it down into like 20 minutes of just gratitude. Basic things. He said, thank you. I could see, I could hear, I could feel, I could thank you for my family, and just like basic things. And then from there, like 20 minutes of cheshbon nefesh, like I didn't do this right today, I didn't do that. But you're coming from like an Ava sense, not that I'm the worst person in the world. No Jew has ever existed as bad as me. You're coming from like I need to do better. I need to do better. I need to do better. I keep struggling with this thing. Help me. You're really like having a conversation, and then 20 minutes of just like asking for requests in like in a respectful way. That's what they recommend. But again, it's the beauty of it. It's such a personal thing. We all go through our own things in life, right? You have your struggles. I have my struggles. There's not a Jew alive who doesn't have, a peckle or something they're dealing with, either a mental health issue, an emotional, a physical issue, a family situation, whatever a daughter is. In Shidduchim is not getting married. It's like we all have stuff, and the same concept of that. Whatever Hashem sends, it's for the best. Even though it's painful and even though we don't understand it, it still is for the best. So we have to try to just talk to him. I don't understand this. It hurts. Help me use this pain to still connect.
But Hashem's not answering you.
Of course he's not.
Just the talking itself lends you to...
Listen, he could always also listen. He might not talk to you directly. He could help send things along the way, but it's more, this is something I think I heard from Rav Arush or Rav Brody. Like if you're not talking to him, you really don't have an emunah. If you're a Jew, and we're all believing Jews, right? There's HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He created the world. He exists. He constantly creates the world. He's everywhere, right? The children's song, up, up, down, down, and all around. And this is also something from Rabbi Zakatinsky I heard. If Hashem would stop thinking about this table, wouldn't that be that this table would just like fall apart in the legs?
It would cease to exist.
It wouldn't be here. There wouldn't be a table. Every single thing, every cell, every fiber of the universe is infused with Elokus. It's just infused with godliness. So the concept of like, I need him to answer me right away. Like, I'm asking for something, you didn't give it to me. Like, I had lots of conversations. Please, Hashem, heal my father, right? And he didn't do it. Is it that, how dare you? Like, it's not a convenience store, right? I trust. He knows what he's doing. He knows exactly what's supposed to happen. This was supposed to happen to our family. It's very devastating. We're still sad sometimes. But at the end of the day, that's what he needed to do. And you have to have conversations with him and just say, thank you. I don't understand it. It's painful. But also, that also goes back to the gratitude thing. You want to be not just focusing on, oh no, look what you took from me.
Right.
While you're having that conversation, look what you gave me. And like really try to contemplate it. Like your mom also. Like your mom was an incredible woman. Right. So you could look at it two ways. That
I'm lucky I had her, or I'm lucky that...
And you were very lucky to have her. She was a tzaddik. It's the biggest smile on her face always. There was nothing wrong with anyone. There's no sense of gaiva or jealousy. For me, it's not that he has to answer me or he's not talking back to me. Of course he's not going to talk back to me. That's not the way the world is right now. Otherwise it'd be no bechira, but it starts to make everything else in your life more real. Not just the conversation itself, but now you're davening and you're in shul and you're like in Shmona Esrei, and what used to be just like saying the words, like mumbling it, doing 2 minutes Shmona Esrei, now you're pausing, you're thinking, when you're saying modim, you're literally just like, thank you for all you gave me. And it changes your davening, it changes your learning, it makes you want to learn, it makes you want to daven, it makes you want to just get up and go. So it's not really so much that he has to answer you, it's more just, it's the relationship. All of Judaism, it's about the relationship. It's not about how much blah I could learn, because look at what a Talmid Chacham is. It's Hashem, I love you so much. I want to know what you're thinking about.
Really?
Right? You're thinking, this is, again, I heard this from Rav Zaknensky. This isn't my words. But it's like, we're learning, you're learning Pesachim, you're learning about Bir Chametz and all that stuff.
Right.
There's a part of the neshama that connects to Bir Chametz, and there's a part of Hashem, it's godless and is.
But it's funny, it's not only the Chassidish that's starting. I think I've heard it from Uri Zohar. Like, just find 2 minutes. You can't find 2 minutes in a day to talk to Hashem. I'm talking to myself now, obviously. You know, like, you know, it's
right. It doesn't have to be an hour to start, by the way. Also, an hour at a time from nothing is really, really hard. But 5 minutes, 2 minutes, anyone could do 2 minutes, put the phone away and just start thinking about basics. Like, I'm so glad that I could see. And really just contemplate, what does that mean? Because you realize, like, this, like, just sing, something that we all take for granted. You would not trade your ability to see for every single dollar in the world. If someone came up to you and said you'd be blind, and don't do the cute thing that, yeah, but I get a surgery to get my eyesight back. Yeah. I'm saying, like, like if someone like would offer you every single dollar in the world, or I'll take away your vision. No, there's not a person alive to be like, yeah, take away my vision.
Right, of course.
So what does that mean? You have a gift already that you wouldn't trade for all the knowledge. You're a billionaire. You're a trillionaire. You're worth. You have everything. And
if only we think about it, you know.
You have to. That's really what a spot this is. It's slowing down, because the world is so fast paced. It's so crazy. It's nuts. Just like you have the internet and you have just WhatsApp, work and thing, WhatsApp. It's just all the stuff.
So says this, but this is the one that's really what, like, your turning point in life, basically, kind of. That
really helped for me. It's huge. It's just, you connect in a real way, and it's not like, don't get me wrong, it's not like I'm the biggest Talmid Chacham. I still have a lot of things. I still have Yitzhar, I still have a lot of things I have to work on.
Right.
But there's a place to, like, Hashem, I'm having trouble with this. Please help me. But not coming from like a, you have to help me right now. Coming from a, like, I love you, I want to get closer to you. This is impeding it.
So I have an interesting question for you.
Yes.
If let's say would you think that you'd be the same way to deal with, let's say, losing your dad if you didn't do this despite his...
I wouldn't even be married to my wife. To tell you the truth. Nah, I joke around all the time. I'm like, if you would have met me 5 years ago, like halfway through the first date, you would have left like crying. She's like very sweet, and she like the first date she was like talking about...
And they're actually doing a song with Thank You Hashem.
That's because of... do we get background on that? You were at a meal. We were all together at my mom's house, and my wife's a singer. And you're like, how come you're not getting your wife onto the Thank You Hashem, but coming out? This is, by the way, this is like cross promotion right here. Yeah, for like this is amazing. Yeah, so you mentioned that they're doing a woman's album, and my wife's a singer, so you're like, get her involved. I'm like, I don't know anything ever. Like, I know, I'm the last person to know the hawk. Like, I'm just not involved.
It's just a sure thing.
Yeah. My whole family were just like, no. Like, a little oblivious into like walking. No, but it's a good. That's something also we all got from my dad. Like, he didn't care about like fancy clothes, the new car, or even like the business was just like, okay, it supports the family, good. It doesn't need to get, someone came with an offer, like, we'll build more, like, you'll be the main doctor, there'll be more offices, you'll be like running. He's like, that's going to take away from learning. Like, no. He's like, I'm fine. So they were doing a woman's album that you let us know about, and now my wife's going to be doing a song for them, which is pretty cool.
Woman's album. If you're a man, don't listen to it. Or try not to listen to it.
That was, by the way, when I was dating my wife, that was the thing. Because like, she didn't want anyone to listen to her music. And I had no idea like she was a singer.
No, none of her datees, whatever.
Yeah. So like if a guy would say like, oh, I listened to your song, that'd be for her like that's a test. So I didn't know like until I was going on the first date, and my sister's like, who's this girl? I'm like, she's a singer, Shane Delan. My sister like freaked out. I'm like, okay. She's like, oh my God, I tell her so much. I'm like, oh yeah, you know her? She's like, she's a singer. She's on my thing. It's funny because also the whole time we're dating, everyone's like, she sounds amazing. It's sick. I'm like, okay, like, you know, like good, but not so good. And then like we got married, and then like I was just like played her song. I was like, "Oh, woman, you mean professional good? What is up? That is legit." You know, the first like note like she sang, there's some song she wrote, and she was just like, I'll butcher it. It's just like, you know, a trill, I guess. And like, ah, it was really pretty. I was like, I stopped it.
You stick to KMH and stuff, not singing and stuff.
No, I sing all the time at KMH loudly. Just probably not good for my like. The guys on my bench, like, they have to put up with it. It's a lot. You get lost in the davening there, man. You got to like participate. But it's, I always say I was playing the long game. Like, I'm a Levi, and our kids would have no shot at singing duty. Like, they're like, you're tall, you're doing guard duty, and we're very much the type to fall asleep at night, and then the Kohanim light you on fire. Then it's a horror show. So like I was thinking about my kids. I'm like, they're gonna have a shot, you know. Like I'll be standing on guard duty and I'll be like, that's my boy. He'll just like the Khanim will be like Karbanos, he'll be like rocking front row, you know. Yum yum, we shine the shine. Just like we'll have a whole dance. I'm assuming. I'm not sure if that's what how the tune is gonna be.
Is there a lesson that you learned that you want to impart to your children or to the world?
Well, to my kid, I mean, right now the lesson we want her to learn is to go to sleep through the night. That's like that's sort of the goal right now. And my wife would be more into that than me. Like I still sleep through the night, like to tell you the truth. But the one thing like I'd want to tell her, I guess, I want her to grow up just be a happy, believing Jew that everything God does is for the best. Talk to him all the time, really, really, like make the relationship. Obviously, davening is important and learning is important, and she's a girl, so I'll probably be Tehillim and Navi. But just like you could just like read it and like learn about it like as a historical perspective. Like King David wrote these psalms, and this is something you could learn. Or it's like there's a piece of your neshama in that thing, but that only comes like learning only comes to life, and davening only comes to life, or just life in general only comes to life if you realize everything you do is big, and everything you do you're connected, and that only really comes if you're working on the relationship. Hashem's always there for you for the he's always trying to give, but a Jew in Tafshin Pei Beis to acknowledge it and stop and be like, oh, I want to work on this relationship, not for anything else, not to become the biggest rabbi, not to become the Tamcha, nothing, just because I love you, I care about you, I just want to connect to you in a real way.
But sometimes people feel maybe like you know, they're not getting recognition. Let's say for a job, you know, like they keep on climbing ranks, but like in a person's regular life, how do you climb the ranks for Avodas Hashem?
Well, it's not like so much an external recognition. It doesn't have to be like other people are seeing me like, oh wow, look at that guy, his davening is so amazing, or like his learning is so like. That's a Yitzhahara trick, by the way. That was funny because like I never had that before ever in my life, and then he always gets craftier, and he's always gonna hit you with something new. So like it was in KMH, so I was having like a real davening, and then it's like the thought pops out like, Baruch, everyone's probably looking at you. Your davening's still amazing. I was like, come on, dude, like. And you know it's Yitzhahara. You could talk to me like, dude, stop that. Like I'm trying, but at the same time, it's like you're always gonna have the battles, but. It's the relationship. You have to get to the relationship. You get to the relationship, and everything else, the little things fall away. Like you stop caring about like all the little things, the sports and again, maybe for me it's a little bit easier, just personality wise and the way we're raised. Like we were never the guys like into the fanciest clothes or the cars. We were just like, we don't care. We're wearing Crocs. Like I'm saying that's how we roll. And just like the more real you make the relationship. And it doesn't mean you're not going to have struggles. It doesn't mean you're not still going to get challenged by the Yitzhahara. It doesn't mean that you thought, oh wow, look how well I'm doing, and then hey, I just fell right back to ground zero again. It's going to happen. That's just that's just life. But the more you're really looking that I'm looking at you, God, I love you, I care about you, and zehu, like that. I want this relationship to be real, not for anyone else, just for us. And then everything else falls away. You don't care so much like, is everyone looking at me? Am I going to be on the next yeshiva dinner? Like, who cares? Like, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and just you'll be much happier. At the end of the day, you're going to be a lot happier than without looking over your shoulder.
100%. You live like on the clouds, but like what's something that makes you smile?
I mean, recently, just off my head, I just had a daughter like 7 weeks ago.
And so also to see in that fights at Baruch is not normal.
Yeah, that's insane. When the kid is born, it's just like, what just happened?
Yeah.
It's just like, it's such a miracle. It's amazing. Anything they do at this stage is just like, oh my God, she's a genius and amazing, and it makes you smile. And it's like, oh, she made a noise, she like moved. And I know we're parents and we're nerds, but like it just happens to be my baby's the cutest baby that ever lived, and it's also the smartest. I'm not being biased at all. It happens to be a fact. I'm being extremely honest, but really anything she does is just like, oh, that's crazy. Like she smiles, she's sort of at the smiling stage now. She like looks at you, and then you're just like, oh my God.
One last question. What's your aspirations for the future?
Work on myself. I mean, I have ideas, but like I feel like if you sing it out loud, then it's just
takes away from the realness.
Yeah, because it takes work. You also have to be careful. Like we're human beings. We always have like big dreams, but you want to make sure that it's not like fancy dreams and keeping you away from what you should be doing day to day. While at the same time, maybe it's a good idea. And that's why, listen, you have Rabbanim and you have people you have to speak to, because at the end of the day, you don't know if it's really you're doing it for the right reasons, or maybe it's the Yitzhara getting there. Like
They say the same thing with hope, like medically, or
yeah,
people you have hope and hope and hope and hope. But if you keep on hoping and hoping, you're not doing what you're supposed to do today.
right.
Baruch, thanks. It's a Baruch to have you on here. It's a
Baruch,
blessing.
plain Baruch, not Reb yet. We'll get there.
Okay. That's the aspirations of the future.
That's aspirations. So he called Reb Baruch one day.
Baruch, thank you for having me. Thank you for being a grateful warrior. Thank you, and Hashem, this is gonna definitely fuel other people to, even when they're faced with challenges, to God, I think he made the world. He knows what he's doing, right?
I'm way too out of shape for the warrior title, but I'll take like the grateful person. Officially, you got to start getting you're becoming like A-list celebrity. I don't know why you're still talking to me. This should be like Avram Fried sitting in the show right now. I'm just saying,
You saved me.
everyone has to know this guy's a famous dude. He's putting out songs. Like, if you look at his WhatsApp status, it's insane. It's like all the famous people, all the Rosh Yeshivas. Like, I don't know what you're doing here, but okay, like.
Get to sit with the real Gedolim.
Yeah, the real Gedolim are out there. Trust me.